Alright guys, so a few of the videos I've made so far are RC videos, reviews of stuff, mostly just RC. But I want more diversity in my channel rather than just, remote control. I want things like health and fitness, technology in general, video games, consoles, stuff like that. So what this video is I guess you could say my attempt for a health video. Might not be 100% correct, might not be 100% safe. It hasn't affected me in any way, but I can't guarantee that for anyone else. Anyway, so this is how I lost 70 pounds in 5 months. I know what you're thinking, 5 months, 70 pounds, is that unsafe? Some of you are thinking, can I do that faster? Stuff like that. And you can do, it's probably a little unsafe, and you can do it a little faster. But for me, what I have found is the best thing about how I did this was how much I could eat. So it all started, I think, in February. I had just gone to the doctor and had blood work done. The blood work came back, and the doctor said, your cholesterol is pretty high. And I said, all right, well, how do I fix that? And he said, basically, all you really need to do is cut back on carbs. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? And he said, the easiest and most practical way of doing this is to just cut back on soda. And I go, because at that time I hadn't had a soda in like 5 months, maybe even longer. I was really obese. I mean, I wasn't like triple chin or anything, but I was a pretty fat kid. And I had really bad self-image issues. I would just eat so much food and then feel so bad about it, and then try to skip my next meal. And because I had stressed myself out so much, generally I ate more. So what I did was I heard about the Atkins diet, and I heard how successful it was and how easy it was. And so I looked into it, and for about a week, maybe 2, I followed that. And what I did was the Atkins 20 program, which means I could only have 20 grams of carbs a day. And first of all, you do not realize how many calories, how many carbs, are in foods we eat. Like a can of Coke has, I think, 45 grams of carbs. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they do come full of carbs. And sorry, I'm getting all comfy here so I can actually sit back and relax and enjoy talking. Anyway, just there are carbs in so many things. And so what was happening was I started cutting back on carbs. I did 20 grams of carbs and lost about 10 pounds 7 pounds in 1 week. And I was like, okay, well, that's just body fat, or not body fat, water weight. The cool thing that I found out, and this is kind of the reason why I kept going, was I didn't gain the weight back. As long as I stayed on the diet, I stayed below on my carb, or on my weight. I always lost weight. I never gained it back. I would plateau off a little bit, but I never gained weight. Or if I did, it was like 1 pound, and then like 4 days later I've lost like 3 pounds. And so the great thing about this was I was losing weight, and I was doing it quickly, and I was doing it easily. Instead of going out and having pizza at my work, because I work at a pizza place, instead of doing anything like that, all I was doing was I would eat pepperoni, I would eat chicken, and I would eat bacon at work. It sounds really unhealthy, and it is. It's really rough on your heart. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you have heart issues in general. That's more of a talk to your doctor kind of thing. But, like, talk to your doctor if you have so-and-so, because you're probably going to die. Anyway, but so instead of going out and eating pizza, instead of going out and eating hamburgers and stuff like that, every now and then I would just go to Wendy's, order a hamburger patty with cheese on it. And by the way, don't do that. It's so expensive. It's like $3. You can get a sandwich for cheaper. I don't know why it works that way, but it just does, and it's so silly. Generally just make your own food, honestly. But the cool thing was that I was losing weight. And one of the secrets that I kind of found out about this is you need to be honest. You can't say, oh, it's just a peppermint. It probably won't make me fat. It can, and it will. You have to be, one peppermint, no. But how many times are you going to say that? How many times are you going to count that one peppermint? You have to be extremely honest with yourself, and that was something that I had trouble with at first. In fact, at one point, I even stopped biting my nails because I figured that there might be a few grams of carbs just from that. And I don't know if it's directly related to that, but I was at a plateau at the time, and that plateau fell off a little bit more. So I started losing weight again. But you have to be extremely honest with yourself, and the best thing to do is to be accurate. You don't want to say, well, this looks like a pound of apples. Who's going to eat a pound of apples? Well, an apple actually might be about a pound. Anyway, man, this really makes me want to go weigh an apple now. Anyway, you have to be really accurate, and it's really easy to do if you eat prepackaged food. It's not the best way. It's not the most cost-effective way. But me, being 19, at the time 18 actually, no bills to pay, live with my parents. So I didn't have to worry about that stuff. I had them buy me all the expensive food and stuff because I could. And they helped me along this diet. But while I was dieting, I had decided to go from 20 grams of carbs a day to 15 grams of carbs a day. And subsequently after that, I went down to 10 grams a day. And doing 10 grams of carbs is really hard to do. I would get protein bars, protein powders, and just meats in general. Those were almost what I lived off of exclusively. A few other things were, spinach and iceberg lettuce. Iceberg, I think, is a lot sweeter than romaine, and a few other lettuce brands out there, or not brands, types. So I tried to stick with iceberg because it was my favorite, and you can eat huge amounts of it and get like 1-2 grams of carbs. But so I did try to mix in veggies and stuff, but predominantly my diet consisted of meat, cheese, and spinach. That was it. And protein powders. My dog's over there looking at me like, what's he doing? Making all these gestures. Shut up. Anyway, so you have to be really honest with yourself. It's really, really hard to do. Really hard to do. But if you're motivated by your results, it makes your life so much easier. There were times when, at one point, I was camping while on this diet, and I had a week-long vacation on this diet. During the vacation, I had family members saying, "Oh, it's just a week. You'll lose that weight back off easily. Come on, cheat with us." And I was like, "No, like, I need to do this. It's personal for me." And currently, I'm a big believer in cheat days. Back then, I didn't have a cheat day at all. It's been about 6 months now, and I have cheat days like every other day now because I'm at my goal weight. I'm an active teenager. I work out a lot. My metabolism's varying enough to where I can have a lot of cheat days. Now, if you get older, yeah, that's going to change. That's going to change wildly. But no. Anyway, so what was happening was I would not cheat. I would be very honest with myself. I counted everything. I would look and sometimes even check to see if my toothpaste had any carbs in it. Like, I checked everything that I could to make sure that I wasn't getting any hidden carbs on anything. And carbs are basically sugars. They are super simple sugars. So your body can process them like that, which means things that are hard to process, fat, protein, something else. I don't keep up with this stuff anymore because as long as I'm at my weight, I'm happy. But fats and proteins are too hard to process. So your body says, screw it, I'll process this carbohydrates that I'm loading up on. And then it just stores the rest away for later. Well, that later doesn't come because 2 hours after that, your body's out of carbs and going, oh man, now I'm having to process these fats? Nah, let's get some carbs up in here. And so then you're back to, oh, I'm hungry. And then you go eat, and then you get more carbs. But you also get those fats and proteins, but they don't go anywhere because you only live off of carbs. And so the best thing to do is to be really honest with yourself. Sorry, I don't know why I'm recycling this over and over again. I can't stress how important it is to be honest. And mostly, don't cheat either. Cheating is really good when you're really close, but you can sometimes lose your resolve really easily. And on a low carb diet, it can set you back really bad because your body can store carbs up for a while. So if you have a cheat day, you go out, get a pizza, you go out and get hamburgers, pie, desserts, just a boatload of things. Your body can store those carbs up for up to, I think, 2.5 days. It might be just 2, I'm not sure. But it can store all those carbs up. And so that one day, you gain like 5 pounds stored up carbs. Those 5 pounds aren't even going to be touched until you're gone with those carbs. And even then, you're still having a harder time. Because now your body went from carb processing machine, fat processing machine to carb processing again. Well, then you've got to take that time to get back to that fat processing machine. And anyway, so I'm going to try to put a before and after picture and some progress pictures along the road of what it looked like while I was losing my weight. I don't know entirely how to do that because I'm really new to YouTube, but I want to do that. One major issue is I don't have many pictures of myself, at least full body ones. I had very, very bad body issues. I used to just hate myself. And so I never took any pictures of myself. The majority of the pictures that I have are taken of me. I never took them. I never asked for them either. I asked for the pictures later on because I wanted to see these differences, but I never took them myself. And nowadays, I'm freaking... I guess you could say I'm almost an egomaniac now because I wake up every morning, take off my shirt, look in the mirror, and say, wow, I did it. And it makes you just feel amazing about yourself. Anyway, have a good one.